I demand you cut your son's hair because it's making my daughter uncomfortable and gender confused.
This weird thing happened just 2 days ago and I am still confused. I posted on this sub before with my own childhood stories a while ago, but I think that this time I met my first real entitled mom. Oh my. I was visiting a friend and ex-co-tenant over the weekend. I know her from university and she now has 2 sons aged 4 and 6. The 6-year-old has long wavy hair like his father. They are kinda hippie family but not anti-vax or anything. So we were having cake and tea Saturday afternoon at her place when we heard a quite loud banging on the door. Without hesitation, my friend just yelled, "Hey, come in, the door is open," as she must have expected either one of her own kids who were playing outside or some neighborhood children. This is pretty normal here in Switzerland that you don't lock your door, especially in country villages. That's because everybody has a flipping M16 in house. Instead, it was a mother of a girl her older son goes to elementary school with, the entitled mom of this story. It started pretty normal as the entitled mom brought a stack of printed out lice warning leaflets and hands them to my friend and explains that there was a lice outbreak at the kindergarten and elementary school, and some of the kindergarten children, including her daughter, were affected. My friend was thankful for the warning and tried to calm the entitled mom down by offering her some cake and tea, so the entitled mom joined us. I don't have kids, but I know that lice infestation happens, especially among small children, and that it's usually not a big deal. The affected kid just doesn't go to school, kindergarten until it's over, like 2 or 3 days, and there is a range of products to treat it. Also, the summer holidays already started, so the risk of spreading was quite small. No biggie, we thought. Then entitled mom goes on about how her daughter was affected so badly that she had to cut her long hair and that her daughter now is super sad and cries all day because of it. My friend tried to be nice and comforting, telling her that it will grow back and that she is sure that her daughter looks beautiful with short hair, etc. I decided not to get involved, as this seemed to be a matter between 2 mothers and I felt a bit inappropriate. So I kept silent while the conversation trailed. Entitled mom:
Yeah, but isn't it weird that your son now has longer and more beautiful hair than my girl?
Friend: Oh, well, he started to grow it out a while ago because he likes the long hair of his father.
But he looks like a girl and my daughter looks like a boy. Don't you think this could affect her?
Friend: Affect her how? Having short hair as a girl isn't uncommon and looks great, and it's okay for boys to have long hair. She pointed to entitled mom's head. Entitled mom has short hair too.
Yeah, but I am 40 and not a girl anymore. Girls have to have long beautiful hair and boys have to look like boys. If they don't, they get all confused.
Friend and me: What?
So could you please give your son an appropriate haircut so my daughter doesn't feel so bad about having shorter hair than your boy?
No, I am not going to do that. He really wants to grow it out, but who knows with children, right? This can change any time, but I will not make him.
Well, he sure will catch lice then. I mean, I am still surprised your dirty kids don't already have them. Then you will have to cut his hair.
Me, now feeling the need to defend my friend. Hey, now try to be nice. She told you she's not going to cut his hair, so that's just it. I waved at the door. Friend: Yeah, how about we all calm down now? Entitled mom: Please leave now, I don't think we have anything else to discuss. Thanks for lice warning and tell your daughter she is beautiful. Thankfully, entitled mom left without making a ruckus. My friend is now a bit paranoid that entitled mom will try to infect her boys with lice on purpose. Entitled mom ridicules me for giving up my seat for a pregnant woman. I travel about 2 hours a day for work, so I've encountered plenty of entitled parents and children. This happened on my way to work this morning. For anyone that doesn't know, the morning rush is called super dense crush load by analysts because there's about 16 people per cubic meter packed in the train. I got on a train that originated at my station and therefore got a window seat in the women's compartment. A woman and her child, I'm assuming she was around 5. got on just before the train left 10 minutes later, which had already gotten crowded. She and her child made their way up to aisles where I was seated. She tells her kid to go up and stand next to my window. The kid seemed really sweet, so I offered her to sit on my lap for the journey. Who would want to stand in a crowd for an hour? She declined and said she preferred standing so she could look out the window. No biggie. I made more space for her to lean against my seat and put my earphones back in. I could see entitled mom muttering to herself but didn't bother listening in to what she was saying. I assume she was upset with the morning crowd. She kept talking though and looking in my direction, so I paused the music and left the earphones in so I could eavesdrop. She was actually complaining loudly about me, so I took out my earphones and smiled at her and asked if something was wrong. Big mistake. Entitled mom.
You should stand up and let me sit. I have a child with me.
I'm sorry, I have to get up at the last stop and I'm not giving up my seat. I did offer to let nice kids sit on my lap though.
But I'm tired too. I'm getting pushed around by the crowd.
All the trains are crowded in the morning, we can't help it. At this point, the woman next to me offered her seat to entitled ma'am, just to keep her quiet.
No, I don't want your seat, I want hers.
Pointing at me. You're not having it, sorry. I put my earphones back in and stared out the window for the next few stops. At this point, another woman managed to push her way into the aisle. She was pregnant. I assumed so by the roundness of her belly and the way she was protectively holding a hand against it. Might have been around 4 or 5 months along. I got up and let her sit because she was getting off earlier than me and well, because she was pregnant. Nice kid shuffled a bit to let us move and then went back to her leaning position. Entitled ma'am.
Why did you do that?
Me. Innocently. Do what?
You pushed my child to let that woman sit. That was my seat.
I'm sorry if nice kid had to move a bit, but the woman is pregnant and getting off earlier than us. Let her sit for a while. Entitled mom then goes on an entire tirade.
You can't treat me like this, my husband is a politician. I'll have you arrested for assaulting my child. You're discriminating against me. Just because that woman got knocked up doesn't mean I don't need to sit.
Yada yada. She was now yelling at anyone who made an eye contact with her or was nearby. She made a lot of personal comments on my attire and other factors. Several slurs with regards on my skin tone as well. I ignored it all because I don't need this as a first thing in the morning before work. She must have caused quite a commotion because a lady cop got on at a later station after some of the rush died down and asked her to get off the train with her. Someone must have been annoyed enough to call the helpline. Her and nice kid were taken off the train, along with pregnant lady whose stop it was anyway. I got my window seat back and had a nice view of her being taken to the station master's cabin. It was pretty satisfying in my opinion. Entitled mom tries to sneak her son onto a roller coaster he's not tall enough for. Freaks out when they refuse to let him ride. When my nephew, entitled son, was around 8, my sister and I took him to Disneyland. My sister, the entitled ma'am, knew he was not quite tall enough for all the rides. Her solution was to put lifts in his shoes, so he would beat the height test. She tells me this as we were in a line and about to come up to where they will measure the kid. Me. Wait, you're going to put your son on a ride that you know he's not tall enough for. What if he were to fall out, slide out? Those rules are there for a reason. Entitled mom.
Oh, he won't.
You are willing to take that chance? So he can't ride 1 or 2 of the big rides today, so what? I can't imagine putting him in a danger just so he can get on a ride.
Shh! Just watch how it's done.
We get to the height board and my nephew stands up against it. The park employee sighs. Man, I'm sorry, but you're just a little too short for this ride.
No, he's not. Kid, stand up taller, don't slouch. Don't slouch.
She grabs him and forces him upright. We can see he's still about a ½ inch too short. My sister leans into him and whispers,
Remember what we talked about?
I then watch in horror as the little boy casually lifts his heels so he's more on his toes. Of course, this moves him up the necessary half an inch needed to be able to ride. My sister looks triumphantly at the park employee.
See? He's perfect.
No, ma'am. He's on his tiptoes. I'm sorry, but he cannot ride this today. He's not tall enough. My sister flips out. Starts yelling that the height numbers are suggestions and that she's paid a lot of money to be here and it'll be fine. When he refuses to budge, she grabs the kid and stalks off, headed right for the information office at the front of the park. She then wasted another hour arguing with them about why the height limit isn't fair and how the park employee had ignored the fact that entitled son was tall enough. I sat off to a side and listened, mortified by all this. A manager came forward and measured him right there, ensuring he kept his feet flat and showed my sister he was not tall enough. Entitled son: I guess the paper towels in my shoes didn't work to make me taller, mommy. Manager: you put lifts in his shoes. You know how dangerous it is to put a child on a ride he's not big enough for. Entitled mom:
I've had enough of this. Forget it. You people have ruined my son's day. Do you know how much I paid to even get into the park?
Blah blah blah. It's been a few years and I am still embarrassed and disgusted by how she acted that day. What kind of parent endangers their child's life just so they can ride a roller coaster? My sister, apparently. If you wanna hear stories, entitled parent gets frustrated that no one is paying attention to her kid's Nintendo Switch. And
but you have to be gay.
Click at this video right here. So that was it for this video. If you enjoyed, just leave your feedback in the comments, alright? And until the next time, stay awesome.